Part 2. Christopher Robin read the message aloud. Oh, are those peas piglets? I thought they were Poohs. We must rescue him at once. I thought he was with you, Pooh. How could you rescue him on your back? I don't think so, said Owl after grave thought, serious thought. It is doubtful if the necessary dorsal muscles. Then would you fly to him at once and say that rescue is coming? And Pooh and I will think of a rescue and come as quick as ever we can. Oh, don't talk, Owl. Go on quick. And still thinking of something to say, Owl flew off. Now then, Pooh, said Christopher Robin, where's your boat? I ought to say, exclaimed Pooh as they walked down to the shore of the island, that it isn't just an ordinary sort of boat. Sometimes it's a boat and sometimes it's more of an accident. It all depends. Well, it depends on what? On whether I'm on the top of it or underneath it. Oh, well, where is it? There, said Pooh, pointing proudly to the floating bear. It wasn't what Christopher Robin expected, and the more he looked at it, the more he thought what a brave and clever bear Pooh was, and the more Christopher Robin thought this, the more Pooh looked modestly down his nose and tried to pretend he wasn't. But it's too small for 2 of us, said Christopher Robin sadly. 3 of us with Piglet. And that makes it smaller still. Oh, Pooh Bear, what shall we do? And then this bear, Pooh Bear, Winnie-the-Pooh, F-O-P, which stands for Friend of Piglets, R.C., Rabbit's Companion, P.D., Pole Discoverer, E.C. and T.F., Eeyore's Comforter, and Tail Finder. In fact, Pooh himself said something so clever that Christopher Robin could only look at him with mouth open and eyes staring, wondering if this was really the bear of very little brain, whom he had known and loved so long. We might go in your umbrella, said Pooh. We might go in your umbrella, said Pooh. We might go in your umbrella, said Pooh, for suddenly Christopher Robin saw that they might. He opened his umbrella and put it point to walk downwards in the water. It floated but wobbled. Pooh got in. He was just beginning to say that it was all right now when he found that it wasn't, so after a short drink, which he didn't really want, he waded back to Christopher Robin. Then they both got in together and it wobbled no longer. I shall call this boat the Brain of Pooh, said Christopher Robin, and the Brain of Pooh set sail forthwith in a southwesterly direction, revolving gracefully. Well, you can imagine Piglet's joy when at last the ship came in sight of him. In after years, he liked to think that he had been in very great danger during the terrible flood, but the only danger he had really been in was the last half hour of his imprisonment, when Owl, who had just flown up, sat on a branch of his tree to comfort him and told him a very long story about an aunt who had once laid a seagull's egg by mistake. And the story went on and on, rather like this sentence, until Piglet, who was listening out of his window without much hope, went to sleep quietly and naturally, slipping slowly out of the window towards the water until he was only hanging on by his toes. At which moment, luckily, a sudden loud squawk from Owl, which was really part of the story, being what his aunt said, woke the Piglet up and just gave him time to jerk himself back into safety and say, "How interesting! And did she?" When, well, you can imagine his joy when at last he saw the good ship, Brain of Pooh, Captain C. Robin, First Mate, P. Bear, coming over the sea to rescue him. It's very impressive. This is the art of the author. That is all one sentence. It starts over here, but it flows beautifully. It's a very hard thing to do. And as that is really the end of the story, and I am very tired after that last sentence, I think I shall stop there. Let me just show you that last image of Piglet waving out of his house. Okay, I'm going to stop there. We shall finish this tomorrow. All right, bye-bye everyone.